Every real estate market has that one defining arch, the rarest commodity, something which is perceived to be the most valuable asset. What is that rarest commodity in Dubai's real estate market? Is it the Burj Khalifa view? Is it a seafront living option? Or is it some place where you can find both of them together? This is what we're going to discuss in today's video. Thank you everyone for tuning back into the channel. Good morning from Mutahir here in Dubai. This is a very nice, early, bright summer morning. Still very windy, still very pleasant, even though we're past midway May, but the weather is still, mildly doable. The value for real estate, like any other asset, is determined as per the principle of scarcity. The rarer your commodity is, your asset is, the more valuable it's going to be in the future. The harder it is to find something or build something similar, obviously the more value it's going to retain in the future and perhaps appreciate even more as well, proportionally speaking. So if you lay out Dubai's map and you go onto the map, as you know, maps are my go-to. So if you look at the map, you would notice that the most highly valued real estate in the city is determined by two defining anchors. One is how close it is to downtown Burj Khalifa, and the second is how close it is to the coastal line. For example, if you go to Palm Jumeirah, you go to Marina, you go to JBR, those are the areas that have traditionally done well because of the seafront, because of the access to the water. If you come to places like Business Bay, downtown, these sort of areas have typically done well because of being close to the city center, because of where the Burj is, the main attraction of the city. Now this area, this location is some place where you can find both of them together. You are close to downtown Burj Khalifa as well, and yet you are right in front of the sea. We are in Maritime City right now. I made a video about Maritime City last year, some 8 months ago. I think that happens to be one of the first videos on my channel as well, if you can go and have a look, where I discussed how this area is one of the most undervalued, underpriced areas in the city right now. It's very hard to find something comparable to Maritime City in the sense that there is barely anything which is seafront, something with right in front of the sea and close to Burj Khalifa as well. Basically, if you were sitting in your living room and you look towards one side, you have the sea view, and look towards the other side, you have the Burj Khalifa view. This is the sort of rarity I'm talking about. So there's nothing exactly comparable to this location, but the closest comparison would be perhaps the Blue Waters Island. I discussed in my last video as well how they look quite similar. They're all sort of islands protruded out of the coastal line, artificial man-made islands, and how the chemistry of both these areas is quite comparable. Obviously, Blue Waters is some place which has already been there since a long time, and as a community it has developed. They've got hotels, you've got the Caesar Palace, you've got the museum, you've got the bowling alleys, you've got a lot of stuff. Whereas this community is still kicking off, still getting started. So when I last made the video here, I showed you how there is only one building standing in this entire community right now, which is ANWA by Omniyat. A very distinct building in the sense that it's basically the only one standing tower which is occupied as well. People really like it. Those who live in here, they love it, despite the fact that the community still hasn't taken shape yet. But a couple of significant developments have taken place since the last time we were here. Number one is that most of the plots that are still vacant, so there are only about 20 plus seafront plots in this entire strip that are facing directly towards the water. Most of those vacant plots have been acquired by Omniyat. Not only that, at your back as well, and we're going to give you an aerial view, most of the plots that are part of this community have been acquired by Omniyat. So there's a plot for the park, there's a plot for the school, and other than that, there's a plot for the community center where there's going to be a shopping, retail, mall sort of thing, a hotel going to come up, who knows, probably Dorchester. Don't hold me to that, but just making educated guesstimates here. Community center there, and then all the vacant available plots, most of them have been acquired by Omniyat. So what we potentially have here is, by all means, a community which is going to be 70 or 80% driven by Omniyat. The developments are going to be mainly Omniyat. So you could potentially call it an Omniyat master community in that sense, even though very small, fewer buildings, but most of it is going to be driven. So the overall outlook of the community is going to be driven by Omniyat. So about 26 towers in total, buildings in total in this entire strip. Each building is roughly having some about four retail shops, which could be restaurant, cafes, or anything of the sort. So when you have a developer like Omniyat, obviously they're going to attract high-end brands. The overall chemistry of this entire community, once it's developed, is going to be very beautiful. Plus, when you have one single developer, and that too a developer of the stature of Omniyat driving the entire community, the overall homogeneity of this community is going to look very beautiful as well. Number two, the other significant development is that Omniyat is coming up with a new project. And this happens to be the location of that project where we're standing right now. This is the exact plot of the building. The pricing is beautiful. Something with a seafront view and potentially a Burj Khalifa view as well, where you've got water basically. And I'm going to actually take you into some apartments in ANWA to give you an idea of what the view is eventually going to turn out to be. But you're basically surrounded by water. You have the Arabian Gulf on this side, you have the World Islands and more water and sea on the other side. So we're going to show you that as well. Something with a seafront, with a Burj Khalifa view, coming up at less than 3,000 dirhams per square foot, coming from a developer like Omniyat. Now, Omniyat, a lot of people don't really understand. So we have this concept of branded residences here. Omniyat is a brand in itself. And wherever they go, they have sort of tend to drive the market up. Business Bay, the most beautifully designed buildings in Business Bay, may it be Opus, Binary, the pad as well, by Omniyat. In Palm Jumeirah, they've got very beautiful projects. Business Bay, don't forget the Lana and Rochester collection. Then you've got Ava at Palm, Orla, the one by Omniyat at the Palm. So wherever they go, they sort of make this remarkable footprint in that entire market. So a beautiful project. We don't really have the mandate right now to share the brochures and the renders with you, but it's going to look beautiful. It has the most reasonably priced waterfront product in the entire city right now. I'm again going to compare it to Blue Waters. So to give you an idea, Blue Waters right now is trading the one beds, trading let's say at 5,500 to 6,500 dirhams per square foot for the ready projects. For the off-plan one, maybe 4,500 dirhams per square foot, you're able to find something. Here you're able to get it for less than 3,000 dirhams per square foot. This is, in my opinion, one of the easiest decisions one can make in terms of investment. Obviously, the ticket size you're looking at is going to be slightly higher because it's a high-end product, very premium location, very high-end developer as well. But still, I think it's, if you compare it to the market dynamics overall, this makes a lot of sense. So reach out. We have actually started putting in EOIs. Very recently, we've made a few bookings as well. If you want to know more about it, reach out and I will be sure to assist you in getting a very decent unit and at a very decent payment plan as well. Bear in mind, the payment plan typically with Omniyat is about 60-40, which again is a huge deal. So that's something where you can, and if you book in the pre-launch phase, maybe we might be able to negotiate something better as well, right? So yeah, reach out if you want to discuss that. Now we're gonna head to ANWA, and I'm gonna show you some apartments from there, from the low floor and the higher floor as well, just to give an idea of what you're buying into, and what sort of views you can expect, what sort of quality you can expect. All right, so stay tuned for that. One last bit, and this is something that I've been asked multiple times as well: how do you compare this to Rashid Yachts in Marina, which is right next door, basically an MR community right next door? For me, they are very different products. It's right in front of the sea, even though, I mean, MR Rashid Yachts in Marina is something which I'm a big fan of. But when you're comparing that to this, I think it's a little bit of an unfair comparison. This is something which is very unique in the sense that you're getting a right, like full sea view option from every sort of apartment, even from the one beds. There, obviously, the one beds, the prices are slightly cheaper. But obviously, the views matter. Those are low-rise buildings, 6, 7, 8 floors. These are high-rise, 39, 40, 45 floors we're talking about. So overall, chemistry of two communities is very, very different. Even though they're very comparable products in terms of the proximity, they're very close to each other, right next door. But if anything, I think if somebody is looking for a product where they can have access to all the amenities that an MR community would provide you, but they want something better in terms of the view and maybe finishing as well, then this might work very well for them. Because this plot right now, where we are, is just a couple of minutes drive away from Rashid Yachts and Marina. So yeah, I mean, this is a discussion that you can have with more liberty offline. So yeah, reach out and we'll discuss. Now we're heading to the apartments at ANWA. So follow. Now I'm here inside of an apartment at ANWA, the building which is already there, and I just want to give you an idea of the views that you can expect. And this is what I'm talking about. Beautiful views of the water and the yachts parked over there. You've got the Dubai downtown skyline, the Burj Khalifa visible as well. Very nice shade of blue water that you get from your living area. And if you come out here into the balcony, this is what you get. Look at that. Beautiful. For as long as you can see on this side, it's all wide blue sea all across there. Beauty of nature. Now this is now a one bedroom at the very first floor, all right? And I still want you to have a look at the view. As you walk into the apartment, the very first thing that you see over there is the view of the water at the eye level. Almost gives you an illusion that you are in the middle of the sea. Oh, look at it. Beautiful pool view as well. But of course, the main thing is the water that you see at the eye level. So if you're sitting in your living right here, you are basically gonna have a clear view of the ocean. I hope you're having an idea of the finesse in design and the materials that have been used. Now this is a 3 years old building, right? But everything looks as pristine as it gets. From design to the finishing. I mean, look at this wooden paneling on the refrigerator here. Your seamless integrated dishwasher here. This is a kitchen for one bed. This is easily one of the best commercially available qualities out there in the market. Omniyat is known for their quality, and you would only be able to appreciate it once you decide any of the residences. For example, look at this powder room. Beautifully done. The wooden finishing on the doors, everything seems very high end. This was a quick tour of the Maritime City. You've seen ANWA as well and seen how beautiful it looks. Again, this is a 3 years old building. The newer product is going to be much better quality, is going to be a much better plot location as well. So just to give you an idea, we'd be closer to the marina that you see over there. The plot is much closer to the marina. This is beautiful as it gets. I still maintain what I said last year. This remains to be one of the most undervalued areas in Dubai to invest in, especially if you're looking for a higher ticket apartment investment. This is the place to start from. Give me a call if you want to have a tour of this community exclusively arranged for you with access to what's available right here already, or if you want to discuss some numbers, some starting prices, the payment plans, the layouts, floor plans, what we have access to that. Get in touch and we shall take it from there. Hey, hello, hi. Yeah, the new one which is coming over there.